In Matthew 18, the Lord talks about the sheep, the one lost sheep and the 99 sheep that are left. Talk about that application in this regard. Why, again, a Western thinker, you got 100 sheep. Why would you leave 99 to be exposed to the wolves to go get one? Just count it a loss and stick with the 99.
That metaphor, the sheep-shepherd metaphor, was a particularly profound one in the Jewish world, partly because they thought of themselves, God's people, believers, as God's flock, and God as the shepherd. So anytime you used that metaphor, you were hinting at a relationship that was best illustrated by God and Israel. Now, you'll notice a difference in Matthew and Luke. In Matthew, and Jesus probably made this teaching twice, in Matthew, Jesus says, a sheep wandered off. Stupid sheep, we sheep always go astray. Seek him. The shepherd looks for him. But let's look at Luke a moment. In Luke, he says, a shepherd lost a sheep. Now, who's the shepherd? Well, you could say it's God, but in this case, I think in the Jewish mind, God said, I'm the shepherd, the Lord is my shepherd, but there are under shepherds. David says, I am God's shepherd. The Psalm says, God led Israel through Moses and Aaron like a flock. Moses and Aaron become his shepherds. So when Jesus said a shepherd lost a sheep in Luke, those Pharisees who were accusing him of eating with sinners, he's hinting, those guys are out there because you shepherds lost them. You guys didn't keep them within the fold. Why aren't you out looking for them? The second thing, and I believe this is Kenneth Bailey in his great treatment of this parable, mentions this. The only flock you could leave of 99 to get the other one is a flock that is so committed to following the shepherd that they would stick together and not wander off while the shepherd is gone. And I think it implies Jesus saying it takes a strong flock to allow a shepherd to seek the lost. And we're back to that idea. You need a community to engage the world, because if we go as individuals, we're never going to get there. The third thing is, and I've seen evidence of this, when a sheep wanders off, different from a goat, that sheep is not going to come back. He's going to find a bush in the shade, and he's going to lay there and bleat until he dies or is eaten by a hyena. You have to go looking for him. So this shepherd left and went into the wilderness. And I've been in that wilderness. And he wandered all over until he found him. And then he took this 70-pound animal, or whatever it was, and he carried him home, because that sheep wasn't going to come back. So in other words, Jesus has the shepherd put in an amazing effort to get one sheep back, which was a very valuable commodity in that culture. And Jesus is again saying to those who criticized him for doing that, do you realize the effort a shepherd will put into his sheep? Well, if the shepherd is God, God will go as far as to send his own son into an evil world to be rejected by his own just to find a lost sheep, or a whole bunch of lost sheep, actually. Why won't you do that? Why won't you put in the effort? And the last thing I'd point out there, the sheep did nothing. It didn't come back. It didn't bleat to let him know where he was. That sheep just laid there. In other words, Jesus is saying, those lost aren't going to come back. Right. They're not going to come back on their own. You got to go and look for them. And that's where I'm blessed by ministries like yours, Focus on the Family, because you're out there engaging a culture saying, if we don't reach out to them, if we don't minister to them, if we're not the presence of Jesus, they're not going to come back.